All right, another great video by Lackluster. This one, perfect for I Invoke the Fifth, number one, because there's a great explanation. And we talk about it all the time, how the Supreme Court has said you must state and explicitly say, I invoke the Fifth, or else even your silence can be used against you. So that's going to be in here. But here's a prime example of cops who just don't know the law or don't care about the law. And here's somebody who actually gets ticketed and cited for obstructing because he wouldn't answer questions. Yeah. And ultimately, he's going to get the cases dismissed. But this is just proof positive that there are cops out there who don't understand and know the law, which is why it is so important that we teach and preach it, and you know the laws and your rights when dealing and engaging with law enforcement. Check this one out by Lackluster.
I understand your position in this. However, in the advice of counsel, I've been instructed not to answer any questions pursuant to Salinas versus Texas and are required to immediately raise Fifth Amendment protections. I don't answer questions.
Okay, sir. My party is refusing to answer questions. I'll be entering him momentarily in the call. Go ahead and just send me a second, please.
I've dealt with this guy before.
Have you?
Yeah.
He's not wanting to give me any answers, so I'll probably hit him with some obstruction.
He's just playing a game.
Yeah.
He's not answering any questions.
Yeah. If you refuse to give me any more information as far as your address or phone number, I'm going to charge you with obstruction as well.
Do you know what the elements of obstruction are?
He's probably talking to his attorney right now.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. Today's story was submitted by a viewer named David, who on September 12th of 2020 was traveling in his vehicle in the town of Castle Rock, Colorado, when he was pulled over by Officer Watts of the Castle Rock Police Department for an expired license plate.
Hey. Hey. Officer Watts, Castle Rock Police. The reason I stopped you is your license plate expired back in March.
Okay.
So, if I can get your driver's license for your registration proof of insurance?
I have no idea where it's at, so we'll have to... I'm assuming that's the latest one right there.
Yeah, this one is 1 year prior, but it still shows
I don't know. Yeah.
Expired.
Maybe this one, I don't know.
Let's see what that one's got. Yeah,
or this one.
This, okay, that, not this, and not that.
Whatever works. Okay.
Is the court a good address for you?
I'm sorry?
Court?
That's not mine.
Upon being lawfully pulled over, you are required to provide your driver's license, registration, and insurance. David has complied with the officer's request and has now satisfied his legal responsibilities for the stop. Here I have blurred out the information on the registration card to protect the anonymity of an uninvolved party. The officer holds up the registration card and asks David if the address on the card is a good address for him.
Is the court a good address for you?
I'm sorry?
However, the vehicle is not registered to him, and David points out that the registration card isn't his.
That's not mine.
Note that the officer also holds in his possession David's driver's license, which contains all of David's personal details, including his address.
What's a good address for you?
On my body cam, I have a little phrase I use. Officer, I understand your position in this. However, in the advice of counsel, I've been instructed not to answer any questions pursuant to Salinas versus Texas and are required to immediately raise Fifth Amendment protections. I don't answer questions.
Okay, sir, you have been stopped for...
I got it.
For a reason.
You've got my driver's license. We're done.
All right.
Do what you got to do. We're good. I'm actually surprised.
Can I get a phone number from you?
Once again, I don't answer questions. You've got my driver's license. You got it. You got what you need to know.
Be back in a few minutes.
As we covered a moment ago, David has provided his driver's license, insurance, and registration and has satisfied his legal responsibilities, including providing the officer with his address. You are not required to provide a phone number. In David's words,
Officer, I understand your position in this. However, in the advice of counsel, I've been instructed not to answer any questions pursuant to Salinas versus Texas and are required to immediately raise Fifth Amendment protections. I don't answer questions.
He mentioned Salinas v. Texas, where police in Houston questioned a man prior to being placed in custody or receiving Miranda warnings during a murder investigation. Salinas answered all of their questions until the police asked whether he thought that the casings found at the murder scene would match the shotgun the police found in his house. Only then did he remain silent. He was charged with murder, tried, and convicted on the basis of evidence that he had remained silent during police questioning before he was arrested and giving his Miranda warnings. Salinas claimed that the court should not have admitted evidence of his silence because of the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, arguing that allowing evidence of his silence would violate the Fifth Amendment by forcing him to speak or have his silence be used against him. The prosecution used his failure to answer as evidence of guilt because he did not remain silent prior to the questions regarding the shell casings, which was prior to being placed in custody or receiving Miranda warnings. All of this indicates that you should never answer questions before, during, or after an arrest, and more importantly, that you must explicitly raise your Fifth Amendment protections. The only issue is, sometimes you'll meet people like Officer Watts, who will call for backup and add charges if you dare use your right to remain silent.
My party is refusing to answer questions. I'll be entering and momentarily in the call. And 32, go ahead and just send me a second, please.
Officer Watts waits for a second unit while he writes David's citation.
What's up?
What's going on? I've dealt with this guy before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, he's not wanting to give me any answers, so I'll probably hit him with obstruction, including expired
122 vehicle contact.
Plate.
Walmart parking lot.
Send him to court and let them work with
Silverado,
it.
no plates.
You heard that right. Obstructing for not answering questions.
Alright.
So, what'd you charge him with? Do you
I
remember?
didn't charge him with anything last time. He got called in for not wearing a mask at Natural Grocers, and then basically caused a disturbance, and then it was the same thing. He refused to answer any questions. I think if you tell him to do something, he'll do it.
I asked him for his address. He refused to give it to me.
Yeah,
I asked him for his phone number. He refused.
I think if you're like, give me your address, I'll do it. But
Maybe I should phrase it, and I need your address, or I'm going to charge you with obstruction as well as expired.
yeah, I would go and just tell him. If he says no, then he's just playing a game.
Yeah.
He's just he's not answering any questions.
All right. Okay. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to give you a ticket today.
Yeah.
If you refuse to give me any more information as far as your address or phone number, I'm going to charge you with obstruction as well.
We are a customer service business that happens to practice law, solely focused on the end result.
Do you know what the elements of obstruction are? I do.
It's not cooperating with law enforcement in an investigation.
No, it isn't. I'll tell you what the elements are. The elements are is there have to be 3 people. You have to. We need your address.
All right, that's fine. Paul,
You have to.
good day. I'll be with you in a minute. Code 4.
1339.
So, he is not wanting to give me anything, so he's probably talking to his attorney right now.
Yeah, last time he told me he was hoping next time he's contacted by law enforcement that we arrest him so he can fake an injury and get paid out. That's part of his retirement plan.
Lying to law enforcement while being questioned, falsifying or destroying any potentially incriminating documents that are being sought after by law enforcement during a criminal investigation would qualify as obstruction. For a person to be convicted of obstructing justice, that person must not only have the specific intent to obstruct, but that person must know that a proceeding was actually pending at the time, and there must be a connection between the endeavor to obstruct justice and the proceeding, and the person must have knowledge of this connection. Nowhere in Colorado's revised statutes does it qualify exercising the Fifth Amendment as obstructing. The officers mute their body cams for nearly 10 minutes while Officer Watts writes the citations.
Stay on.
It is on. I just
Do you know what
didn't.
the elements of obstruction are?
Yeah, it's hindering a penal investigation. So this is okay. It's all right. There's your ticket.
Let me explain
There's your
to you what
ticket.
it is.
There's your information.
Wait, I'm getting-
And here's my card. Have a good day, sir. Have a good day. I'll leave mine rolling. Don't mind it. Okay.
After giving David his citations, Officer Watts leaves abruptly. David fought the charges in court and beat both, as the elements for obstruction were absent, and simply reading Colorado Revised Statute 42-3-114 reveals that expired registration only applies to the vehicle's owner. He's currently pursuing legal action. The takeaway from this case is a recurring theme that we see in almost every video we watch. Law enforcement officers are becoming increasingly more ignorant of the law. Either that, or they're purposefully abusing their power to retaliate against members of the public that exercise their constitutional rights. Or both. The following was beautifully articulated by Senor Contino in a recent email to me. The ones that suffer are us. Everyone at court is paid to be there but you. Even the cops. They're paid to lie and are typically believed by the establishment because they are an intrinsic part of the establishment system. The police bring in tens of thousands of new customers to the system each month, and the establishment needs the police to keep the system of lawyers, police officers, prison guards, and probation officers lubricated and flush with taxpayer cash. If the establishment wanted law enforcement officers, they would hire lawyers, or at a minimum, require a law degree as a term of employment. But because they don't, instead, we are offered order followers. As always, let me know what you think of this interaction in the comment section below. David does not have a YouTube channel, but feel free to extend your gratitude to him in the comment section as well. Thanks for watching. If you have a video you'd like me to review, email it or send it in via Facebook Messenger. You can also view this and other content on my website. If you're new here, subscribe for future content. If you've been around for a while, remember to like, share, and comment down below of what you think of this interaction. Shirts and other goodies are available at the Teespring store linked below. Channel memberships start at just $1 if you'd like to further support the channel and get a slick lack logo next to your name. I'll see you in the next video. All links are down below.